Hello, welcome to another pen talk. Thanks for watching and tuning in. Today we're going to take a little bit of a different look, another nostalgic look. We're going to start off with the book, 100 Years of Schaefer. Picked this up at the DC Pen Show from Pandemonium. Excellent purchase. Very inexpensive price and I think an excellent book for anybody who has any interest in Sheaffer pens. If you see one, pick it up. They're not easy to find. I think it was more of an industry book and not necessarily published for the general public. It just has it's great quality, great photographs. This edition was autographed by the gentleman who put the book together, Leon Hepner. And in here is some information about the topic of today, which is a pen made by Schaefer called the WASP, W-A-S-P, with dots in it, for William A. Schaefer pen. The first one they came out with was the Clipper. And there's also a series of ads here, which are from the late 30s, early 40s, and as you can see, they mix up the Clipper, the WASP pen company, with some of the other pens that Schaefer makes. While we're on the subject of great publications about pens, I recently received the Pen Hospital's annual 2016 catalog, and for those of you that haven't seen any of these are phenomenal. They're free. You can go to the website fountainpenhospital.com and order one. They also have a great pen calendar they come out with. This is just full of eye candy. The Visconti on the cover is in here, and I also highlighted the current Schaefer page. So this is an excellent book to find the latest pens from the major manufacturers, and also to understand their pricing. And Fountain Pen Hospital, when they can, provides an excellent discount. I'm not promoted by the Fountain Pen Hospital. I did spend some time in New York City, as you may know, if you've watched my other videos. So I did some business with them. I've always been very happy with any transactions I did. I traded pens there and had pens repaired. So without further ado, let's look at the WASPs. So they are here in a particular order. So we're going to start with the first WASP that I ever got. So this is just a regular WASP pen, probably one of the earlier ones. And what intrigued me was the design of the plastic. It's now called circuit board. It was a series of pearl colors they referred to in the catalogs. I do have from a PCA, I do have a WASP catalog. One of the things that got me into motivation on this video was the fact that I read that WASP was Schaefer's brand to compete with Esterbrook. Esterbrook's dollar pen. These were a little bit over $1. The nib could be a 12 karat gold nib. There's no markings on it. This pen is inked, and we will put nib to paper later on. So that was the Philadelphia Pen Show this year. When I first got to the DC Pen Show, there was a table of a bunch of bins with a bunch of old pens in them, and this was one of the pens that was in there. So what makes this one unique is this is the Clipper, and it is a vacuum fill. I've taken the pen apart, I removed the piston. The piston had a knob here that went up and down. This pen's going to need a little bit more repair than I'm willing to go with, but at least I got it into a a state where I know it can be repaired. The nib section unscrews. Looks like someone tried to force it out, but the pen is in great shape, as you can see. I cleaned it up and waxed it. The next two WASPs I acquired were these, and this was at a PCA auction in Washington, D.C., so the day after I got the clipper. And these are similar in design, and as you can see, it's a circuit board, and of course it's a pen and pencil combo. I would call these almost mint. They came out of a collection that was being auctioned off. The other thing you'll notice is in the clip, and I'm going to keep the auction tabs on there, the clip has this interesting design in it with, you call them chevrons or V's, or it could be an artistic W for WASP pen. Perusing eBay, I always keep my eyes open for interesting buys, and I picked up this pen and pencil set. They were delivered in working order, excellent price. They don't exactly have the three V's on the top, but as you can see, they are WASP pens. And Fort Madison, Iowa, you know, Schaefer's hometown. And then last but not least, I like to always collect a variety of pens when I start getting into collecting a certain series. So this is another pen, similar plastic that was in the red one, but this is the green version of it. And as you can see, this is an Attapoint. So this is another version of WASP, and I think again this was something that they promoted to compete with Esterbrook. Just a standard steel nib, kind of an interesting long steel nib, as you can see how the shoulders of the nib kind of curve up. What was nice about this is the whole assembly unscrews. As you can see, I put a new sack in it that was talc. And what you did is, if you wanted a different nib, it was just unscrewed in and screwed back in again. And of course, Schaefer promoted this as when you did a new nib, you got new guts in it. So it was kind of like a refurbishing of the pen. All the acrylics in the WASP pens are excellent shape, survived their time. Since these were all made probably in the mid to late 30s, maybe as late as the 40s, but again, it was hard to tell. Writing with the WASP pen, I thought we'd take a quick look at another pen line that Schaefer came out with, the vacuum fill pen. Fills with one stroke. They were very colorful in the ads. This is another ad out of the 100 Years of Schaefer book that I have. So I happen to have a vacuum fill pen that we're going to take a look at. I'd be remiss if I didn't say that when I first started working on this pen and looking at it, I did not consider it a Sheaffer pen. I should have been able to pick that up because the engraving on here says Fort Madison, Iowa, which is pretty much a giveaway. I don't think there was any other pen manufacturers in Fort Madison other than Schaefer. Hopefully you can see that there is some transparency in the barrel, so you can see your level of ink, you know, kind of in the form of the Vacuumatic or the Waterman fill pens that they had at the time. One of the things that Schaefer did with their lower end pen lines is they introduced new features, which eventually they incorporated into their more prestigious Lifetime line. The nib is labeled vacuum fill. The other thing is it's also labeled to write two ways. So you can turn the nib over, the reverse writing that a lot of people seem to be infatuated with on the web. That is something this pen is designed to do. So hopefully you've enjoyed a little bit of a trip down history lane. And regarding Schaefer, they were a phenomenal company. They certainly may have done a lot of things that you weren't aware of. And maybe you can have a better appreciation for some of the things that they did do that were more popular. Get putting nib to paper. In my previous video, the Delta Seawood, I didn't mention that I'm now using a new pad for my reviews, my writing reviews. So I've gotten back into Clairefontaine. Well, I use Clairefontaine on a daily basis. They have a nice small notebook that has about 80 pages in it, which lasts about a month for me. So, and this is the 90-gram paper, which I love in Rhodia, but didn't realize that 90 gram was all that Clairefontaine uses. So that was what was nice. I'm going to have to reposition a little bit because I'm dealing with nice afternoon sun, which does well with the bringing out the colors in the plastic, but gives you shading when you try to write. So this is a WASP pen. The nib is very smooth, but I've done a lot of work on it. The nib actually is a slight oblique, which I like, but it was very, very sharp, kind of difficult to write with, but just a little bit of softening to it made it into an excellent writer. And this is J. Herbin Terre del Feu ink. Again, it's an ink. I think the color is kind of appropriate for this pen. Yes, we need to put the periods there for William A. Schaefer pen. So hopefully you've liked this little nostalgic view, a little shout out to some things that you might be interested in pursuing a little bit more. So thank you for viewing. And just keep an eye out for interesting pens that you might find. You'll never know what'll catch your eye. You'll never know what'll get you motivated. So enjoy all your writing experiences. May you have many. Till later. Bye.